Hi everyone, welcome to Tram's Tips and Tricks in the Kitchen. Today I will show you how I make my gluten-free chewy noodles. In Vietnam, this dish is called bun can. These noodles are eaten in a bone broth soup with fish balls and different cuts of meats, but you can eat these noodles with any broth that you would like. Look at how delicious this bowl of noodle soup is. Yummy! The ingredients are equal parts of rice flour and tapioca flour, a bit of salt, some oil, and boiling hot water. The tip for knowing how much water that you will need is I find that you need about 1 milliliter of hot water to approximately 1 gram of flour. So here I have a total of 800 grams of flour, so I will start off with 800 milliliters of boiling water. You may need to add more water if the dough is still dry. You want to aim the dough texture to be sort of like Play-Doh. So for these particular noodles, I use a potato ricer with the large holes to form the noodle shapes. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to start off with pouring my flours into my stand mixer using the dough hook. So I pour both flours in. And then add my salt. And my hot water is ready. So I just start mixing the flours together a little bit, and then I'm measuring out 800 milliliters of water to begin with. So the water was just boiled in the kettle there. As the mixer is stirring, I am slowly adding the hot boiling water to the flour. So at this point, I just want to add it. Here you are. And then you want to keep an eye and see if there's still dry flour in the mixing bowl. If there is, it means you need to add more water. So just add more hot water, a little bit at a time. You can see that I had to add a bit more. And then so you want to make sure that there's no dry dough left and that it's starting to not stick to the sides of the bowl. So at this point I haven't added the oil yet, so I will kind of scrape the sides of the bowl here, and then I'll add my oil. So about 10 milliliters I'd say. This just keeps the dough a bit on the moist side, and then I give it a nice mix. So you want to mix the dough until it has a smooth texture. A few minutes, not too long. So our dough is ready now. It's a nice smooth mixture now, and the texture is very, very similar to Play-Doh. That's what you want to aim for, the texture for the dough itself. So just one final scrape from the bottom of the mixing dough to make sure we got everything. I have a pot of hot boiling water, and I put some oil in the water, and then also a cold water bath waiting, and also poured a little bit of oil in the cold water bath as well. Now I'm putting the dough into my potato ricer here, and then you want to squeeze it slowly over the pot of boiling water. Once all the noodles have come out, you just need to swirl a little bit in the water, and then the noodles will fall off by itself. Once the noodles rise to the top, that means that they're cooked. I just let it boil for about a minute or so before I remove it from the pot and place it in the cold water bath. So you want to do this, continue to do it like this until you've used up all the dough. For this particular recipe, you're gonna get quite a bit of noodles from 1 bag of rice flour and 1 bag of tapioca flour. Once all the noodles are cooked and placed in the cold water bath, we want to drain them. And we want to rinse it really well with cold running water. So very important here, you need to rinse it well with cold running water so that the noodles will stop cooking and they will not stick together. So the opposite of pasta, where you don't rinse pastas, with Asian noodles you need to rinse it with cold water to remove the starch and to reduce them from sticking together. And then there you go, very nice noodles and chewy. So here, this noodle, I used equal parts rice flour and tapioca flour, so you find the noodles very chewy. A lot of people like the really chewy noodles. So in this next one, I used half the amount of tapioca flour. So it was 400 grams of rice flour and 200 grams of tapioca flour. So then I would use about 600 milliliters of water, hot water. And so it's less chewier. This last one, I didn't use any tapioca flour, so I only used rice flour. So you'll see it breaks apart quite easily. And so it'd be comparable to overcooked pasta. Some people like that texture, but a lot of people still like a little bit of chewiness in their noodles. So you can always adjust the amount of tapioca you want in your noodles depending on how chewy you like it. And here we are. A nice bowl of bantkan is how we love to eat it in my house. So I hope you get to try this recipe and see how you like it. And I hope you get to enjoy it. See you next time.